I go. Back.
All right, time now for all things Gators, all thing orange and blue. What's left? Dan Hick, Frangie, what's up, Hick?
Well, it's September and the season shot, which is no surprise. It's disappointing. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist brings you this. Appreciate them. All your information at se-ortho.com. So many things to unpack with this Gator football team. I'll throw out a positive, man, but it becomes a negative because of what's going on. I mean, this Florida football team has given up 2 touchdowns this year, Frank, and they're 1-2. 2 touchdowns and they're 1-2. Explain that to me.
Well, I'm with you. The defense actually looks like it's decent. We knew that we thought they had dudes on defense, right? We felt like they did. I think they've got dudes on defense. Dan, the offense is a mess, though, and Lagway's a mess. We can't bury the lead on this. What in the world is going on with DJ Lagway? You give me your thoughts. I got a lot of thoughts on it, but I want you to give me your thoughts on it. First things first, what happened to DJ Lagway?
All right, well, number one, I'm annoyed because, and I think everybody's doing everybody a disservice by not being open and out up front about what's going on. Like they've been hiding things. You know, it's been like this mystery for months. So that bothers me. And, you know, we just want to get the information out. We want to understand what in the world, you know, should he have shoulder surgery? Is it his shoulder? Is it the fact he hasn't practiced? There are no more excuses. So clearly he has regressed. There's some talk about the way that defenses are playing him. So it's probably a bunch of different stuff. He said it after the game. I've never struggled like this. I don't know how to react to it. But DJ Lagway is playing horribly and is the reason why the Gators lost the game on Saturday night. And honestly, again, I think Billy Napier messed up by not sitting him down after his 3rd pick. But that's neither here nor there. You take it from there and tell me what you think.
Well, I think you just hit it. The last thing you said. The best thing about the ball coach among the many good things about the ball coach, he was never afraid to play the other guy.
Right.
And at this point, it was clear it wasn't going to happen for DJ. He was flustered. He was seeing things. He wasn't throwing very well. Look, he's not very good right now. That's the reality is he's thrown 15 interceptions in his career. He's 2 games into or 3 games into his sophomore season. He may have the career record before it's over. He's now thrown the same amount of interceptions as guys like Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson did in their careers, close to it, right? You can't blame the offense. Graham Mertz threw 26 touchdowns and 5 picks and completed 70%. I'm not saying Graham Mertz was some great player, but you can't just blame the offense for this. It's the same offense, you know?
Yeah.
So right now he's not playing very well. Billy hasn't developed him. So part of it's the offense isn't very good. The big tight ends who shift every play and the clapping and the pointing and the wide receiver screens. Yeah, the plan isn't very good. By now we know that he's not a very good offensive coach. Of all the things Billy did well and did a lot well, he's not a very good offensive coach. But Lagway right now, his fundamentals are awful. He's throwing off his back foot. He obviously has no ability to anticipate where the defense is because he's throwing the ball right to guys. He couldn't possibly be playing any worse. Here's the one thing nobody wants. We all want to listen. The offense isn't very good, Dan. The plan. But we all want to blame Billy for everything. And I blame him for a lot. And I think he's probably going to get fired and probably should get fired. But you can't have an offense with a guy before you completed 70% of his passes and threw 26 touchdowns and 5 picks. And now this guy's an interception machine. And we say, well, it's because of the offense. It can't. It's the same offense. And so I think DJ is just a really struggling player. I don't see it getting fixed. I would play Tramel Jones. I'd certainly have him ready. You can't be afraid to play the other guy. The one I thought the most telling, and Billy Napier is a good guy, and he's trying to support his guys, and I appreciate where his heart is. But I thought the most telling comment of how delusional he is was when he was asked afterwards about pulling DJ, and he said, no, he's our guy. He's one of the best in the country. Dan, he actually said that. Did you hear that? Did you hear that comment?
I did. There's a lot there. Listen, and you're right about, I agree with most of everything that you're saying. I haven't lost sight of the fact that DJ Lagway was special last year, though. He won football games. He led the he led the nation in quarterback efficiency for a freshman. He led the SEC in yards down the field, throws, and there were a lot of positives there. And everybody says year 1 to year 2, you take this big jump, and now it's I had that 11-on-11 practice since the Georgia game, and well, what about mental reps? And Billy said, well, he's only been practicing 4 weeks. 4 weeks? That's plenty of time. 4 weeks, you don't throw into triple coverage over and over again. It was mind-numbing how badly DJ Lagway played, but he wasn't good against Long Island. He wasn't good against USF. This team has had more touchdowns called back in the last 2 weeks on the offense, 3 than they've scored 2. So there's a lot wrong, and I appreciate you saying the things about Billy Napier. Probably he's got to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't. He's 20 and 21. All the numbers, all the metrics, everything tells us. But the damning things are things like, Frank, somehow, some way, Florida is still in this football game with 9 minutes to go, and you saw it. The clock is even McElroy saw it. The clock is ticking down to under 3, 2, hike, handoff, 1 yard gain, huddle, huddle, huddle. What are we doing, bro? We need 2 touchdowns, 2 scores. Need a sense of urgency. I was saying this after you were saying this after the Utah game 2 years ago. Nothing changes. Nothing changes.
I hear you. You're the
same guy. He's got this freaking book, Frank.
I know.
And God bless him. And which is good. And the book, and he goes to the book, but he won't change. He won't say, well, this really hasn't worked. Let me try this. Well, he just doesn't change from the book.
Well, two things. Number one, I agree with 100% of what you said. So, but one final Lagway thought, okay?
Yes, please.
I think last year was a mirage. I hate to say it, but he made some beautiful plays down the field.
Yeah.
And he shook off some tacklers that should have sacked him and found a way to plays. But he had 12 touchdowns and 9 interceptions last year.
Yeah.
He was 50% passer last year. I think it was a mirage. We wanted to believe so badly that we finally had the next Tebow, Werfel, and whoever that we talked ourselves into it. If you really go back, he made some beautiful plays last year and he won games. And I'm as guilty as anybody, by the way.
No. I know. I don't agree with that in the respect that when I watched those games last year, and I'm telling you, Frank, and you know this, we'd sit there 4, 5, 6 times a game and go, ooh, what a throw.
Right. You're right.
Well, it's in there. It's in there. We got to get it out of them. I don't know that Billy Napier. Listen, Lagway ain't going to save Billy Napier, and Billy Napier ain't going to save Lagway. It's a tough spot right now.
So having said all that,
look,
here's what we now know.
Yeah,
now we know he's getting fired. Whether it's in addition to everything you said about he won't change, he's stubborn.
Right.
He's not a very good coach. He won't bring in another guy to call plays. He's gonna go down with the ship doing it his way. We now know that. Okay.
Right.
And God bless America. If you couldn't get it, it just turns out that every goddamn opponent's great. Okay, that wasn't so. We knew they were going to be good. Miami
22 and 3. The rest of the opponents right now, that's their combined record.
And watching them, Dan, not just 22 and 3. I watched A&M against Notre Dame. They're freaking good. Miami hung 49 on the team that the Gators couldn't hang 17 on. I mean, Georgia and Tennessee. That might be the 2 best teams in the country. I watched that game. I'm like, who's going to beat those 2 other than each other?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather play Alabama this year. I don't play them. So look, they're going to lose most of their games, and I think that's why I'm so disappointed. I was so encouraged about this season. I believe there was something.
And they got good football players, Frank. They got good football players, but you're in trouble, Frank, when the best thing that the positive Gators can say is, man, Frank, did you see Cormani McLean's hustle on that last run when we're getting beat? And he hustled all the way down and caught the kid. What a great play. And it was a great play. But my God, that's the best thing we got to talk about.
I mean, realistically, I was thinking 9 or 10 wins. Dan, can they get to 4 knowing what we know now? How did they get to 4?
I don't know.
I
really don't know.
Maybe beat Mississippi State and Kentucky and upset somebody, I guess.
Maybe.
But by the way, the end of the season is Ole Miss, Tennessee, and FSU. If you watch them, the end of the season, after you've played Miami and Texas A&M and Texas and Georgia, the end of the season is Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State.
Let me run this one by you real quick. I want your opinion on this. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and this is not demeaning in any way. So I'm not demeaning the great coaches, but for whatever reason, I don't know why, Spurrier, Kirby Smart, luck is involved. They get lucky. All the luck they get is good luck. Listen, Georgia's going to get beat. It's 38-30. It's 4th down. Now, Kirby Smart, best adjuster in the game, I think, during the game. But they're going to lose. They throw a touchdown pass, they get a 2-point conversion, and the kid misses a field goal, and Georgia wins again. Luck is on there. Spurrier used to have luck, and I know if you said this to the coaches, they get pissed off about it. Well, I don't mean it in that way. There is something about luck. And Billy Napier is a black cloud. He has no luck. There's nothing ever goes his way, dude. Nothing. Caleb Banks is back. He's balling, and he's on crutches in about 3 plays.
I know. Well, I think there's some truth to the luck thing, but I also think, the Tennessee – I'll tell you why the Tennessee kicker missed the kick, all right? Because Georgia's so good, and they've earned the right to have everybody be nervous when they play against them. You got to cut the head off the snake. And so but I hear you. But we got to get to Florida now, okay?
Okay.
What do we do? I can't imagine that Scott Strickland, who I like very much, can sit still and look up and they're 1-6. No. So you have to do something in season, don't you? I mean, I just again, if Miami rolls them and all of a sudden you're 1-3 because you just lost 35-13 to Miami or whatever it is. The defense is pretty good, but they can't do everything. And then you have an off date. Now you got Texas and A&M coming up, or I got Mississippi State's in there somewhere. I don't know that you can, for the sake of the program, I don't know that you can do nothing. So do you make the move before Texas, Dan, in your opinion? Give it to Billy Gonzalez, Billy Gonzalez is probably not a head coaching type guy, but he has been there 12 years in 3 different stints. He knows where the bodies are buried in Gainesville. Do you make the change now and start your search immediately? In this portal area, you got to do it fast. Because, again, I'm never the fire that – you know me, Dan. I'm not the fire that –
Right. No, you're not.
But at this point, we know where it's headed. We know they're not winning very many games. We know best cases they win 4 to 5 games. More realistic cases, they're going to – if you follow the evidence suggests they're going to win 3 or 4 games this year tops. Okay, that's what the evidence suggests. And that DJ Lagway is not the guy. So if it was me, would you start Tramel Jones against Miami?
No. I think that's a tough. I think that's now I might play him if Lagway goes bad. I just think that's
I do too.
A little bit of me starting AR against Georgia. You know what I mean? If I'm going to start Tramel Jones, I'm going to start him. Maybe against Mississippi State in a couple of weeks. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, we got great. I mean, you got Miami, and then you got a week off. You got a week off. You can get him some more reps, but I'd probably wait. But to answer your question about Napier, it doesn't really matter to me. Now, Virginia Tech and UCLA both fired their coaches this weekend. Right. So it's already underway. There's a lot at stake here. We're here, the names will start floating down, all of a sudden I hear the Georgia Tech guy. I think you mentioned Gruden on your show. There's all kinds of names to go over and try to figure out here. But man, this is it's got to change, man. It's got to change.
No question. And again, here's what you do if you make the change now. You at least told your fan base, your players, you're not accepting this. Now, I know what you're worried about. All the players leave. They got 30 days.
They will. That's going to happen. That's this day and age. So.
Right. And by the way, I do believe Gruden has enough people that are close to him that he could get it. He'll get in the conversation. That's what I reported. I don't know if he's going to be the coach. I have no idea if he's going to be the coach. Right. But I think he'll be in the conversation. My guess now is it's now time, and Lane Kiffin will probably be the next Florida coach. That's my guess. I covered the Spurrier story. You did too in the late 80s. Mm-hmm. And there had always been talk about Steve coming back to the alma mater, but the timing wasn't right.
Right.
And by the end of the 89 season, you all kind of knew, okay, the conversation was now time. Well,
Yeah.
I now think with Kiffin, even though Kiffin's not a graduate, but I think there's been enough talk about Kiffin to Florida that it's now time. He's done about what he can do at Ole Miss. He's now, the training wheels are off. He's more mature than he was. I think it's about I would guess, if you ask me to bet money, if you ask me right now, who's on the sideline when Florida opens the 2026 season, I would guess it's Lane Kiffin. Do you agree with that or no?
I think that's a good call. I'm certainly not against Lane Kiffin. I think, you know what, the one thing I like about Lane Kiffin, and look, we've played football a long time at the University of Florida, more than 100 years. Two best coaches ever, both had swag. You got to have that Florida swag, man. And that's why I really like Brent Key, but he's a Georgia Tech alum. There always seem to be an underdog. It doesn't seem like he fits to me at Florida. It doesn't seem like he's a guy who fits to me. So that's why I would shy away from him. But I like him. I think I'm intrigued by him. But whoever it is, man, you got to hit a home run on this one, Scotty Strickland. You got to hit a home run on this one.
When do you do it, Dan? If you're you do. They lose. Let's say they lose 31-16 to Miami and have an off day. Do you do it now or do you hold it? What do you do?
I wait. But I'm not doing it at the end of the year. I'll do it maybe going into those last 3 games, when I know for a fact, just so I can say, look, I gave you 4 years. I gave you 4 years, and it is what it is. So, but it doesn't matter to me, like it doesn't matter to you in the end. And I don't know that there's a right answer. I tell you this, he better be in his drawer right now with his list of names. I will tell you that. So, regardless, because he knows where it's headed, And
it's a hard job. I get it. It's a hard. Yeah. I mean, I people don't like Scott. I'm a big Scott Strickland fan. I know people don't like Scott's a friend. I think he's a really good AD. Right. But I feel for him now. He's got to be thinking, "Are you kidding me? We went to bat for the guy. He went. He responded
through it. Yeah,
won all the games. There's all the hype in the off season. Billy says, spot the ball. We finally have good players. We got a generational quarterback. Finally, all the crap's over. It's now time. And now this. And here's the shame. And now this. They're 2 or 3 plays away from 3-0. One more play and they beat USF.
You gotta beat USF though. If you beat USF, then we're okay. And then we're talking about Miami. Look, it's a big game, and but the fact that Lagway is really struggling is just a death blow, man. Now, listen, you play Miami, you got to give it to Jaden Baugh 30 times. There's no real formula to beat Miami. I just don't see it happening. Our defense played well though. Maybe we got something for Carson Beck. We'll see. But good news is College Game Day will be there. So everybody's excited. They can talk about the fall of Florida for about an hour. That'll be great.
How about College Game Day showing up when the Gators are 1-2 for guys?
Yeah, thanks a lot, College Game Day.
I mean that
thanks a lot.
Same thing. So anyway, all right. So as we wrap this, where do we? I asked you where you think they go. I would make a move earlier than you would.
Yeah.
I just think you're now in a danger area of you're wandering in the abyss with no answer. I think you're just wandering in the abyss with no answer now is what's happening, and I don't see an answer. I don't see them beating Miami, and I don't see them beating. It's Texas, for God's sake. I know they get the Mississippi State game in the middle there, but we're sitting here doing a podcast that's supposed to be all the good things. Let me tell you what we're excited about. We have no good answers. You got the backup.
The offense sucks. I mean, so I don't know how they're going to win any game. They can't score. I mean, they scored 16 against USF and they scored 10 against LSU.
And that's why you play the other guy, Dan, because at least with this guy, you know what you got.
Yeah.
You never know. I'll say this about Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier's philosophy was, listen, we don't know that the backup's going to be better, but he ain't going to be worse. I'm not afraid to play him.
No doubt.
I wouldn't start Tramel Jones against Miami just for he's not going to play him at all. He's already where he stands. He thinks he's got one of the best guys in the country. But I would without question, I would find. I don't even early in the game. I would find a way to play 17. I think you have to do something different.
Yeah,
that's the insanity thing. You have to do something.
I mean, Frank, Trey Wilson ought to join the cross-country team as much as his kids run, but we can't get him the football. I mean, he just goes in motion up and down and up and down and up and down, but that's the offense.
And I'll tell you this, if the rest of my life, and I hope I have a long life left, I'm an old guy, but I'm healthy, Dan. I'm a healthy old guy, okay? If I never see a 250-pound tight end shift again.
Oh, my God.
or two 250-pound tight ends shift together again. If I never see it the rest of my life, I'll be okay. If I never again, the rest of my life,
Yeah.
if I never again see big tight ends shift from the right to the left.
I don't ever want to see a 2nd and 20 bubble screen again.
Yeah. I'd prefer not as many 2nd and 20s is what I would prefer.
Be nice.
And so, but anyway, all right. So that's so.
All right, my man.
With Miami, good luck against the Canes. I think they should play Tramel Jones some. I think they should make a change sooner rather than later. Not to be mean-spirited. You got to stop it. You got to get out of the abyss. That's what I think. Yeah. That's all things Gators, all things orange and blue. Dan Hicken and Frank Frangie.
All right. Thank you, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Frank, we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.